For the people out there who would say, how does somebody do that? It seems impossible. How does one person handle all that? How do you handle all that?
To be honest, I I don't really know. It has to be done. I don't have. I am my backup plan. Some people have, if something goes wrong, there's an alternative, or they can, they have something else. And I'm not talking about finances or money. I'm saying that if I don't show up, I'm not showing up. So I have to make sure that mom is taken care of. I have to make sure that my bills are paid. I have to make sure that I'm living my life. I have to make sure that I'm being a good wife. I have to make sure that I'm, I wake up, I'm like, I'm here. Why complain about something? It's not going to change. And I mean, it's life. You're supposed to live. And so, but now I've been told that even designers can use it, if they're that they may be able to use clothes, or people have used it for quilting and stuff like that.
Wow.
So yeah, just when you start realizing all of the possible uses of it. So now that one idea has that turned from one Morgan Square has turned into three different sizes and a variety of colors. Websites up and running. We're getting ready to be on Amazon. We've done trade shows, and it's just now it's ramped up. I am so busy with just all the legwork that goes into running a company, and you don't know, because you don't know what you're doing. I mean, I didn't think that I'd have a president and a VP of operations that are, and a sales manager who are all here to help and get this off the ground. And we're just kind of waiting for the big bang. We're like, we just need one, just one. So that's the company that I have now. And so it's just been an adventure. And I got, like I said, we've got our website, we've got paraphernalia, shirts and stuff like that. So it's been kind of cool, because I never thought in a million years I could say that I'd be a founder and CEO of a manufacturing company based out of the Silicon Valley.
That's awesome. I mean, it's crazy because some people can't even handle their job, but you have this, pretty important career, and you're also starting your own manufacturing company. How does one, I mean, you're kind of like a mini Elon Musk, I guess you could say, right? How, how does one handle two, and not only that, you're taking care of your mother, you have a new husband to take care of as well, you have two little dogs.
And
How
the
does,
insurance
yeah, exactly,
that
right?
we're, working
Yeah.
with you.
Obviously, we were together in the insurance business as well. How, for the people out there who would say, how does somebody do that? It seems impossible. How does one person handle all that? How do you handle all that?
To be honest, I I don't really know. It has to be done. I don't have. I am my backup plan. Some people have, if something goes wrong, there's an alternative, or they can, they have something else. And I'm not talking about finances or money. I'm saying that if I don't show up, I'm not showing up. So I have to make sure that mom is taken care of. I have to make sure that my bills are paid. I have to make sure that I'm living my life. I have to make sure that I'm being a good wife. I have to make sure that so I'm, I wake up, I'm like, I'm here. Why complain about something? It's not going to change. And I mean, it's life. You're supposed to live. Life would be boring if you were just in there. Yeah, I have a job, and thankfully, yes, I love my job, and I have no intentions of leaving. But at the same time, I'm glad that I have the opportunity to do all this. I don't know. Even it's funny, because my husband even asked me. He said, I don't even know how you sleep at night with everything that you have on your plate. And I sleep well. I am out, I'm sneaking in my workouts. I cook a lot. When I was younger, I used to say I'll sleep when I'm dead. And I guess that's just how I am.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It is a lot though. And, I think when my sister passing away in October, that was probably the thing that was that broke this camel's back, where I was just, you feel like your shoulders are just being, you don't want to stand up anymore. But I have a great circle of friends, no doubt. And I think that that's very important, to have people that you can talk to, get advice to, and just be yourself. It's okay. If you're sad or having a bad day or bad week, or, I mean, everybody has that. We all have that issue, but being able to get it off your chest and realizing that it's okay. That's the best thing, because when you feel like you're going to collapse, but your circle keeps you grounded, like, standing in cement, that is like the best thing. Because there's been so many times that, I, like I said, spending weeks with my mom, just taking care of her, was definitely a challenge. And somehow or another, it's been years now that I can say that, and I have a cadence. I still have to take her to doctor's appointments and things like that. So it's just, what do they say? There's 24 hours in a day. It's what you
Yeah.
want to do with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, what is the first thing you think about when you wake up before you go to bed at night? Doing all the things that you do. It's like, it's amazing.
Yeah, I don't know. I do write a lot. I do
Mm.
write things down. It kind of clears the mind. Doesn't mean that I'm necessarily going to get to it. My
Yeah.
husband actually encouraged me to do that as well. But I don't know. I really don't have an answer, but I do. I wake up and it's just like, hey, it's life. Stuff happens. I can either just suck it up, and I think what also gets me is like anxiety can eat someone alive, with the things that happen. And I don't feel stressed despite all the stuff that I have going on. I mean, of course, I may be sad or I have things, but I don't feel like I am working to live.
Mm.
I'm living and working it in, if that makes
I
any
love
sense.
that. Yeah.
So I don't feel like, oh my God, I got to go to work and I got to do this. And I just laughed because recently married, my husband, now he sees me and he's like, I don't understand how in the heck. I go to the grocery store, I'm washing clothes, I got all this stuff going on, and I'm just bouncing around the house like I have nothing else to do. But I think it's once you get in that energy, it's kind of like, if you're in a mood or in a funk, when you're so deep in it, it's hard to come out.
Mm.
Mm.
You know, mental health is real and it's serious,
Yeah.
and sometimes you just can't snap out of it. But I think once you're in a place where you feed off of the good energy, that is what keeps you, versus the sad things. One of the greatest things that someone told me was like control and no control. I know what I have control over, and I know what I don't have control over. I have control of getting up and making the best of my days.
Mm.
And there are some days where I just go, you know what? I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to go in the backyard and light some candles or the heaters and have me a margarita or three. And I don't want to be bothered, you know, but I do that because I deserve it. And that's something else I tell people: you deserve to live and take care of yourself. Isaac, I travel. I take a lot of vacations. I'm very busy, but I will hop on a plane and go, like, you know what? I'm going to take this whole week off and I'm not going to bring my laptop. I know people are addicted to those things, and sometimes I do this, but it's very important to give yourself self-care.
Yeah.
And to, you have to.
Yeah. I was gonna say, how to take care of yourself. Like, especially like self-care is the biggest thing right now. You know what I mean? In order to do what you love to do, you need to take care of your energy and your mental well-being. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you mentioned a couple of things. You said you have a strong circle. So, I mean, they say behind every successful person, there's a strong woman, a strong man, but also maybe a strong circle.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so that's very important. You have a lot of energy. They say energy is everything. If you don't have energy, you have nothing, So it seems like you have a lot of energy, which is, I mean, you have to have a lot of energy to accomplish all the things and do the things you're doing. And you don't make excuses. Like you just said, like, you're like, you know what? It has to get done. So it's going to get done, instead of like, oh my gosh, like all this stuff or whatever. You're like, nope, I don't care. It's going to get done, So, I mean, those are three very, very important characteristics, successful ones, of course, of anybody. So I think that's powerful for anybody listening, not just females, not just women, but anybody listening, of what it takes to really be successful. Because, I mean, some people can barely handle the job, let alone a business, let alone a husband, let alone dogs, and even more difficult is taking care of a sick loved one. You know what I mean? So, how's your mom doing, by the way?
She's doing okay. She's hanging in there. I'm good. I try to see her every couple of weeks, and she's still cracking jokes. When I was
There you
talking to
go.
her the other day, she loves to watch Jeopardy. So I said, "Mom, you watching Jeopardy?" And she said, "No, why?" I said, "Because I need a loan." And she replied and said, I can loan you some common sense. And I thought that was the funniest thing.
That is funny.
Because I said, really, Mom, is this what we're doing? And so she's
Shout out
doing
to
all right.
moms. Shout out to
Yeah,
moms.
mom got jokes.
I
Mom
love
got
it.
jokes.
Yeah.
Hey, as long as they still have their, their sharpness, that's a good sign. You know what I mean? That's a good
Yes.
sign.
Sense of humor, for
Yes.
sure.
Yes. So, and I'm glad that I can be there for her, you
Yeah.
know, and like I said, that's something else with the job and I don't feel guilty about what I have to do. You know, I've made it very clear and everybody, you know, mom is first, no matter, I don't care what I have going on. So if I have to negotiate or beg or, you know, or make that, I'm not going to choose between your family. You know, my mom is like, she's my only family that I have here in California. And mom, I don't care what mom needs. When mom needs me, I'm there. I don't care what I'm doing. So that I'm confident in that. And I think that gives my heart and my mind peace, is that I do what I think I need to do to keep my conscience calm. And I think that also keeps me right. It's like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Mom first.
Right.
So you know how to set your own boundaries, basically.
Yes.
Yeah, you have your priorities in the right.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what your priorities are, right? And your standards, and you get it done. So that's awesome. And so you recently got married, and I think this is very, very cool, because I remember us talking maybe 10 years ago or whatever, and we were just like, oh, who knows if it's ever going to happen or whatever, you know what I mean? And well, you found the one, you know what I mean? You seem extremely happy. He seems like an amazing, guy. And talk a little about that. How'd you guys meet? Did you think, were you really thinking it was never going to happen? And it just kind of hit, like they say, were you surprised, like not expecting it? And then bam, this knight in shining armor comes, sweeps you off your feet, or how'd that happen?
Oh, here we go. Okay, so I'm just going to tell my side of the story.
Hey, it's your podcast. So there you go.
Right.
Yeah.
So living in the Bay Area, one of the things that I always wanted to do, that I set out to do, was, I was single at the time. Like I said, we know each other a long time. Was I wanted to buy a house in California. And so and with mom being sick, I wanted to buy a house so that I could move mom into it. Right. So long story short, I found a house. So I went out, got the day that I bought my house, I went out, my girlfriend was like, hey, you should come out in Pleasanton. And in my apartment that I was living at the time didn't have any hot water, because I had given my notice already. And I just was joking around. I was like, oh, this house is just going to break down on me since it knows I'm leaving. So I go out, meet my girlfriends, having some wine, having a good old time. And this guy comes over and he's asking me if I want to dance. And I was like, no. And it's kind of funny because he was talking to me, but I really wasn't there to find anybody. I was just out to have a good time. I felt good. I was like, holy crap, I can't believe I bought a house in the Bay Area, a single Black woman. And I've never lived in a house, by the way. This is my first house that I've ever lived in, is the one that I bought. And so I was just like, oh, this is so awesome. So I really wasn't trying to hear him, right? So, and so we ended up having this discussion, and I was like, I always give him a hard time because, sometimes they say, Black women are somewhere or another. And I remember telling him specifically, and I was like, I'm Black, don't you? And he just kind of looked at me and he said, well, I'm probably more Black than you are. And I said, oh yeah. And he said, I'm African. I said, oh, well.
Well, you have won that argument, I believe, right?
Right. So we're just, kind of joking. It was a great conversation, and he asked me to dance and I literally told him no. I was like, no, I'm cool. Thanks, but no thanks. And went back to have my cocktails, enjoying my time with my girlfriends. And so I'm getting ready to leave. And I kind of look, I'm like, is that guy again? He had actually still been watching me, and not creepily, not anything like that, And so when he came up, and I was actually waiting for the car and valet, and I remember telling myself, I'm going to give him my business card, and when he calls me, I'm going to block his number. So that, because I'm just like, I'm by myself, my friends are gone, I don't know what's going on. So I give him my number. And make it back home. Everything's good. Like, we've been there for a lot of hours and stuff. And so waited. He called. I don't know. Maybe he sent me a text. Maybe 6 weeks later, and I waited on purpose. I was like, I'm gonna wait because I was moving it into my house, and I was like, you know what? I'm single. I'm hungry. what's wrong with a free meal? Right? This guy wants to take me out, right? And so we end up going out. This is probably in October. So, and we met in August. Then probably in October. And when I saw him the second time, I just remember going, damn, I really should stop drinking, right? Because I was just kind of taken back, like, wow, he's quite handsome. And ever since then, we just ended up hanging out, and I exposed him to the travel bug. So we, went to Jamaica, surprised him for his birthday, took him to the Dominican Republic, and we really clicked. And I always tell people, I'm like, if you can travel with somebody, that is a lot, because you can't just leave if you're out in some, the place out there, right? I mean, there's living together, but traveling is a whole different, because you don't really know each other, there's something
you don't know the area, you can't really go nowhere,
right? You can't call somebody to come pick you up, kind of thing. And so we were out and we hung out and everything. And it was on New Year's Eve. He had actually proposed to me in 2018. I don't want to say. And it was funny because he had come over, and I had noticed that there was a cell phone on the top of my cabinet. So I was like, oh, maybe he's just going to record the toast. But no, he had plotted that there so he could record him proposing to me. So he proposed to me. Smart. And I was like, what are you doing? So we asked about it, right, Isaac? And then I'm like, wait, no. Because when you're around people who are married, or sometimes they keep asking, when are you two going to get married? When are you going to do this? And I was completely okay. I wasn't expecting it. So then when he did it, I was like, wait, hold up. Are you sure? What are you doing? Get
up. He's like, it's not how I pictured it to go. It's not how they do it in the movies. What's going on here? Yeah.
No, but I was very happy. And so then we were planning, and then the whole pandemic came. And so but we still did it. And so, yes, I feel like I have my, my better half. Definitely what I need is, given who I am, and I don't say it in like a big headed way, but I intimidate a lot of people, and I don't do it on purpose, and it's just because of the way that I carry myself, and it's something that I've always dealt with. And it sometimes is perceived, not some people perceive it as a bad thing, and so that was more so my own worriness about me, being uncomfortable. But he's right there with it. He started his own business in the pandemic as well, and so we're power couples, just learning from each other and building from each other, and we are just great. It's a great connection. So yes, he's my knight in shining armor.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's awesome. I mean, like you said, a strong woman can intimidate a lot of men, but it takes a very strong and secure man to handle like a strong woman. You know what I mean? And maybe his personality meshes perfectly with your personality, right? So that's exciting. I mean, I'm very happy for you. Congratulations. And obviously that's probably a big reason for your success as well too, because you feel like, you have, like you said, it seems like you've always had a strong circle, you know what I mean? It just kind of added another piece to that strong circle that you have. Right. Yeah.
You have a lot of good support around you. A lot of love, even with your job,
and didn't even ask for it. And it's like taking that moment to step back and see all that. When you can acknowledge all that some people ignore that or don't see it, and that also kind of hinders their growth. It's like if you don't know where you're sitting. And so I always, I have chills right now, because I always frequently try to step back and think about, even, with you, Isaac, we've got a lot of things. You've helped me with my mom. We've had, great history and things like that, and always at the right time. So just having a strong circle and the right pieces, you can play chess together.
Yeah. I think if you're on the right path, then those kinds of things happen, like if you're doing your purpose, like you're doing the right thing, you're helping people, you're working hard. It just seems like things that kind of happen coincidentally, but I just think it's just because you're doing the right things, you're taking the right steps, and then the right people will obviously come into your life and help you at the right time. Well, I'm glad I was able to help however I was able to help. You know what I mean? And it's super, super exciting to see you growing and the company growing. What's the future for Channon? Like, what's the vision? Newly married, 2 companies, a job. Like you say, you're not leaving the job. So what's the future hold for you based on where you're headed right now?
I don't even know. I swear I don't know what I'm doing. I really don't. I've never really thought about where I could go, because I'd never seen it before. No one in my family's done anything like this. I didn't grow up with, a whole lot of stuff or just in general. So for me, I mean, now I have some ideas about, being a coach or mentor. I would love to offer advice and coach people in their own entrepreneurial because I now have the knowledge myself. I didn't have anyone to tell me everything. And a lot of that stuff I learned on, my own, with filing an LLC and, trademarks and patents and all that stuff. Because usually when someone helps you, not usually, but sometimes when people help you, give you certain information, there's always something else that they may want or something that you don't know and you're not sure whether you could do it. But I see myself owning a few more businesses, getting in more into the real estate market as well, just if you can do it. Like I said, this is the home that I'm in is my first home. And now that we have a few of them, rental properties and stuff like that. But for me, it's just doing all the stuff that I had never seen in my family, to do that. And so I just want to do the unknown. Like I said, I don't know what I don't know. So I make a U-turn or go left when I see an opportunity. I bring my own door, my own table, and sometimes I come through the back door. That's just how I roll. I don't know what I want to do, but for me, it's just I like, the most important is I want to keep, positive energy. I need to make sure that I'm surrounded by positive people. And, like I said, it's life. It doesn't come with a book. You don't, some people put themselves on a path and say, this is what I want to do, or I want to go here, but it's only because they don't know that they could do that over there.
Right.
So I just take it day at a time. And I'm surprised at a lot of things. I've had a lot of people approach me about different things. And I'm like, who, me? Really? Like even just asking to do this podcast, I'm like, who, me? Why would you even want to talk to me? I am so boring.
No, you're not. This is definitely, you keep us smiling, laughing over here. You're very inspiring.
Oh, thank you.
For sure.
Thank you.
So humble, Channon.
Yeah.
I there's a couple lessons in there. So first of all, you learned on your own. And it might be more difficult. It might take more time, but it also makes you much stronger because you basically had to take all the lumps and bruises, and now you're like, all right, well, I've already been through it all, so I'm ready for anything, right? And then you're an opportunist in a way. Like you never turn away from an opportunity if it feels right. So like there's a lot of people, they say POUR stands for passing over opportunities repeatedly. So to me, it seems like you're an opportunist. Like you're always looking for opportunity. You're always looking to do something big. And I love this quote. It says, I may not have come from a wealthy family, but a wealthy family will come from me.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like you were chosen. You're the chosen one, the linchpin, the one in the family that was chosen to do all the big things and achieve all the things that the family never did. So that's a big responsibility, but it's also a great accomplishment, And then you live in the moment. Like, I think that's powerful because too many people, like you said, they're thinking too much in the future or they're thinking too much in the past. They say if you live in the past, you're depressed. Right? If you live in the future, you have tons of anxiety because no one knows what tomorrow. No one even knows if you're going to be here tomorrow. You know what I mean? If we're going to be here tomorrow, right? Hopefully we are. But you seem to have mastered living in the moment, taking advantage of opportunities, being positive, having lots of energy, and just making the best of every situation and not making any excuses. So that's very powerful. That's why you're on this podcast,
You got a good recipe, basically. Yeah. Like you have a strong foundation within yourself already because everything starts from within us. So
yes, it does. Mm-hmm. My friend Gary in New Zealand, he told me when I started to do this company, he said, they say if you want to get something done, find the busiest person that you know and they'll get it done.
That's right.
And I'm like, is this why people keep calling me? I don't even want to answer my phone today. No.
They say busy people get things done, right? But so that's awesome. So anything else that you want to share with the audience about yourself or what's going on in your life? Any advice you want to give to people out there?
And I guess just, look out for me in the future. One of the things that I do have on my list, on my plate, that I really want to do is keep my older sister's legacy, Adrienne Bird's legacy going. She hadn't worked for anybody in years, and I always looked up to her because I wondered how she did it. She bought the first house and all of this stuff. So like to her passing, it was rough and everything, but she worked really hard,
Mm.
and I'd say she inspired me the most.
Mm.
Just watching her, so just keep an eye out. I do want to keep a legacy for a literally can't even talk anymore. Her literacy legacy going, and so that's something that I'm working to get up and have recognition for all of the work and things that she had done. So yeah, and look out for Kiwi Vision, because we are up and coming and going to be in a lot of places. So I'm very excited about 2021. I've got a lot of stuff going on, commercials and everything. So
wow.
How do we find her books? How do we find her books?
Online,
Amazon?
you can get them on Amazon,
Okay.
or yeah,
Gotcha.
Amazon. But they have them there, and there's quite a few different publishers that have them. So we can get them in, but yeah, Amazon will have them as well. So.
Well, yeah, we'll also leave it in the description below.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure you check that out. Also, if you like this podcast, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you smash that like button and hit that notification bell. So we always end every podcast with a segment we call Joe's 6 Qs. So I'm going to pass it over to Joe, and she's going to ask you some pretty 6 deep, powerful questions, and then we'll go ahead and wrap it up after that.
I guess the first question would be, let's see. When you hear the word purpose, what's the first thing come to mind?
When I hear the word purpose,
yeah,
first thing that comes to mind is your why. So in that, when I say your why, that could be anything. Why do you choose to work out? Why do you choose to eat healthy? Why do you choose to go shopping or whatever? When I hear the word purpose, it makes me think of, make sure that you know for yourself why you're doing something, and that you're not doing it for somebody else's purpose.
That's powerful.
It's very powerful.
Why are you doing what you're doing?
Why? Your why. Okay. At the end of your life, how would you like to be remembered?
As a hoot. I don't know. I don't know. At the end of my life, I just want people to say that she lived with no regrets. I do what I want when I want, and I don't say it in that way. I do what I want when I want, because I don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. Why wait? That's why I travel now. I just want to be known as someone who lived her best life. That's it. Taking all the challenges, all the bad things and the good things, and it's a recipe for life. All of that is. So just being me, I guess. I don't have any, I don't know, nothing big, but just influencing and maybe encouraging people to live their lives.
Yeah.
Well, you definitely inspired me during this podcast already.
I mean, I knew you, but I didn't know you this well, and it's pretty awesome. And just like the Drake quote, everybody dies, but not everybody lives. So you're definitely living life, right? And setting a great example.
Yeah. You mentioned when you were 14, you were living in a hotel with your mother, right? And do you have any advice to any young girl out there right now who's basically in the same position?
Yes. I think I just heard this the other day. I would say your current situation is not your destination. That's it. And life changes, people change. And it's okay to have concern or think things out, and make sure you listen to your thoughts. Sometimes people are so busy doing other stuff, we don't take time to listen to things that are on our mind, which can contribute to anxiety. But again, where you are doesn't mean that's where you're going to end up. I keep telling myself I'm gonna go back and buy that damn hotel. Just because.
That would be amazing.
Just to do it.
I'll support you. I'll go there. I'll stay
that's
there.
What I would, yes. That's what I would say. The worst where you are today, it's not forever. Things change. And just keep your chin up. Keep pushing.
Okay, if you had 48 hours left to live, what is the first thing and the last thing you would do?
if I had 48 hours to live,
yeah,
the first thing that I would do, I would actually probably take a moment to reflect on everything that I have done and figure out what else it is that I would like to do before I check out. Because if you don't know where you came from, you damn sure don't know where you're going. So I guess that's for me. If I had 48 hours, the first thing I would do is reflect what I have done. And the last thing that I would do is give myself or try to be at peace of mind. When I was younger, I always told myself that when I do die, I plan on sliding in like a baseball player, kind of skidding it. I'm not just gonna go. So I'm gonna hold on to every last breath and make sure that everybody around me knows what kind of impact that they've had on me, and push that energy out and go with a smile, because that's the last thing I want people to see on my face is a smile on my face. That's it.
I love that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Well, next question. What's your number one wish for the world?
Whew. The number one wish for the world.
You could
Where
just
do you
think
get
one.
these from? Where did
Told
you
you it
get
was
that
deep.
one from? Gosh, I would say my number one wish for the world would be for the world to accept that what creates a world is everyone's differences, and that the world would be boring if everybody was the same. So that would be, I guess, in a nutshell, that would be my wish, is that, allow people and things to be who and what they are. If you don't agree, that's fine. But there shouldn't be any, what's the word I'm looking for? Any animosity or anything because you disagree with what someone or something that happens. We're all in this world together. We all got here somehow, and we're all got to leave. So, let people, if they like purple, let them like purple. Shouldn't force them to like blue. I just think that, to me, I think as a world, it would be wonderful if everyone could just appreciate and let people be who they are. It would be so much easier than trying to change people. So
I agree. Thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
It was awesome.
That's awesome. So, any last words?
I just want to thank you for taking the time. I really appreciate it. And, as a woman of color as well, I was born in third world country. You definitely inspired me with your stories, and you're truly an inspiration. So I'm really happy you took this, accepted this invitation, and we can't wait to share with the rest of the world. So,
Thank you. It's wonderful being on. Didn't know what to expect, but glad I did.
Definitely valuable. You're up there.
Yeah, one of the first people that I thought of was you, and I'm glad we finally were able to get this done, and I'm glad it was done now, because I think in the beginning, we were still figuring things out, and now we kind of have things going. So I'm very excited for this to be released. Thank you so much. I'm glad I got to know a little bit more, and I mean, for me, the last 10 years is, I learned what it takes to be successful, and you have all those qualities and then some, you know what I mean? And the energy is amazing, you know what I mean? And that's something important. So, but I guess when you're living, you have a lot of energy, you know what I mean? When you have things going on, like you're busy, like you're traveling, you're finding your significant other, like you have to have energy. I mean, so you're living life. So you're definitely living life. You're definitely making an impact. I have no doubt Kiwi Vision is going to explode. That's $1 billion idea. They say if you want to be successful, you find a need and then you fill it with an idea, right? With a business. And you're helping lots of people. So thank you so much, Channon, for being on. Say hello to your husband for us. And, thank you guys for tuning into the show. Once again, please subscribe. Make sure you smash the like button. Hit that notification bell. And as always, follow your bliss. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the podcast. We hope you enjoyed it. Our goal, as always, is to become the #1 podcast in the world. And make sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already. And make sure you share this with 3 of your friends. And if you like our intro song, please check out my good friend, Moroni Silva's band, A Dead Desire, on YouTube. That song is called The Mantra. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. And as always, follow your bliss.